Hey guys, it's Dr. Rick from SurfFit 50. We want to continue on our shoulder series, or our surface shoulder series. Last time we talked about just doing some self screens, and hopefully you guys had time to do that, and you can kind of pick up where you guys were a little bit tight or weak or had some kind of like tweaky feelings or so. Today what we want to do is we want to talk about a little bit of soft tissue. You know, after we paddle, and we're paddling a lot of times we were very like pectoral dominant, lat dominant, upper trapezius dominant, and those structures tend to get a little bit irritated or tight. So if you haven't checked out the YouTube channel, we have a surfer's neck and some videos about mid-back. So check those out. I gave you some really good stretches to do on your board or off your board to deal with the upper trapezius as well as that thoracic spine. So what we want to do today is we want to talk about the pecs. And what I kind of like to do is, you know, use a ball. You hear a lot of people say use lacrosse balls or golf balls, and I just think that's a little too hard. I like a tennis ball or a soft kind of little trigger point ball. And all you want to start to do is obviously your pecs, you have a pec major and a pec minor, and they kind of go right into here and connect onto your sternum and up into the front of your shoulder. And you just want to kind of start to take this ball, and again, with not a lot of pressure, and start to kind of roll and feel some areas that are a little bit tender. Kind of hold that there, put a little bit of pressure, some nice breathing, okay? And don't have to push super hard, and you'll kind of feel that area release. And then you can take your arm as well and start to kind of get a little bit of tension on that, a little bit of length, and kind of get that a little bit stretched. And go along the whole pec. A lot of times people will find that this whole area is just a little tender. If this is a little too much for you, you can go with a larger ball. And again, just kind of work in small circles, just work up the pec, and you'll really feel that. You might get a little kind of like popping or kind of like bubble wrap feeling. Okay, all the way, both sides, kind of good breathing. What we also want to do is we want to talk about foam rolling. You know, we talked about that with the thoracic spine in the previous videos. The lats, I mean, they're a large muscle. They go from, you know, your shoulder all the way down to your pelvis. But where it really gets irritated is right up in kind of this area, because we're really pulling when we're paddling. So I like to do this before I surf, but especially after, is get the foam roller. Again, you know, if you like something with like the ridges, that's fine, or you can do something that's just a little bit softer. And you want to do this lying down, and all you're going to do is just lie down on the floor and put the foam roller kind of right up into your shoulder blade. Put your palm up position, and all you're going to do is just kind of roll up to the bottom of your shoulder blade, and you're gonna feel that kind of tender, and kind of hold that, good breathing, 30 seconds, and roll all the way back up and down to the end of your shoulder blade, and then all down. And then what you can do too is, again, you can kind of roll your body a little bit as you're doing that, roll forward, hold, you'll feel that kind of tension. Good breathing, and you'll eventually just feel it kind of release, and then kind of go back, and then kind of go up, down, and then up. Both sides. Do that for about 30 seconds to a minute, okay? And then what I like too is, now that we've restored a little bit of soft tissue mobility, we want to start to kind of do a little bit of more active, okay? I kind of like going back to some of the yoga stuff that I know. I don't really know all the names of the poses, but just to kind of get a good total length. And you know, one of them is just kind of standing, putting your hands up into your ears, and all you're doing is kind of just laterally flexing, and you can feel that all the way down to your hip. And just kind of hold with a good breath, and then both sides. Okay. And then there's one also called, I believe it's called Revolve Warrior. And all that is you're in kind of like this lunge position, and your front knee is bent, and you're gonna put your palm up and forearm down, and you're gonna just kind of lift up your arm, hold, good deep breath, and then as you exhale, just kind of come up, and you're gonna feel a lot here, and then inhale all the way. Keep your shoulder in line with your ear. You can turn your head to get a little bit of cervical spine mobility. And then up. And then this way. Okay, so those are a few of the moves that I use when I surf. You know, before I go out surfing, I spend about 15 to 20 minutes warming up. I never used to. When I was in my 20s and 30s, I would just jump in the water. But what I find is as I'm getting older, you know, I'm in my mid 50s, that if I take 15 minutes and really kind of warm up my shoulders and really kind of work those lats and the thoracic spine and the neck, and we'll talk as we progress with this series for the hips and the calves and things like that. I find that you know, my paddling is definitely better. I'm a lot more efficient. I don't really have as much soreness as I did you know, prior to when I did not warm up. So hopefully those were helpful. Again, surffit50.com is the website. We have a YouTube channel, and again, we're going over the cervical spine that we did, the thoracic spine, and then we're going to continue on this surface shoulder series. All right, so hopefully that was helpful, and we'll talk to you soon.